Hello. Welcome to Welcome to the American Comedy Institute show. This is Steve Rosenfield's stand-up comedy workshop. Thank you. What you're going to see tonight is a company of stand-up comedians that have been training together in a workshop conducted by award-winning comedy director, author of the book Mastering Stand-Up, and founder of the American Comedy Institute, Steve Rosenfield. We have alumni that have gone on to perform on The Tonight Show, The Late Show, Saturday Night Live, Gotham Comedy Live, Conan O'Brien, and they perform in clubs all over the United States and all over the world, including some of the best comedy clubs in New York City. What's very exciting about doing this workshop online is that we have students tonight performing from all over the country. So very excited that you're watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. And really not a lot of rules since it's not a comedy show, but please sit back and relax and enjoy our ACI students. I will be your host tonight. My name is Michaela. Hello. I am from Florida and I'm in Florida, but I'm not alone. No, I'm quarantining with two fantastic people. Ladies and gentlemen, they've watched all 8 seasons of Dexter twice. They've been married for 26 beautiful years and they don't believe in global warming. It's Mike and Tina Fagan. Yeah, they're in the other room. I told them absolutely do not come in here. So that's what's happening right now. They live in a 55 and over community, which means I live in a 55 and over community. And the thing that's fun about that is that I fall asleep every night knowing that I'm the only fertile woman within at least a mile. So if this becomes a situation where we need to like repopulate the earth, I'm gonna have a line of old men knocking down my door. Just a line. And I've actually already devised the competition that they'll have to go through. And I'm thinking it's probably gonna start with the fact that you have to have an active driver's license. That's prerequisite number 1. Then we're gonna have a jitterbug competition just to judge their physical fitness, style, and flair. And then I think it'll be a bocce ball tournament to the death. That's how we're gonna find out who I'll procreate with. And whoever that sole person is, that's who it's gonna be. So actually though, in college, I'll be honest with you guys, I was a lesbian in college and I still am because I'm not a quitter. And you shouldn't quit. When something means a lot to you, you shouldn't quit. So I still am. But I have to be honest with you guys, the gay rights movement, I think it's a bust because I'm not seeing the gay sex to back it up. Where is it? Where is it happening? I haven't had sex in like 2 years because of the quarantine, of course. That was responsible. But still, there has to be a problem with maybe the internal power structure of the movement, maybe the leadership, because clearly my rights are being denied to me. And that's really, I've been thinking about that. I mean, what is the cause where the gay sex is happening? That's what I'm wondering. If it's not the gay rights movement, maybe it's the Save the Whales. I think that's probably where it's going down. There's got to be a lot of lesbians who are really fighting for the government not to lay that pipeline. I think that's where they are. So I should probably pick a different cause. I'm really lucky though, because I do have an aunt who's gay and has given me wonderful advice growing up, her and her wife. The thing is, they don't give wonderful advice. They give pretty outdated advice because we came out in very different times. Like I go to them wondering how long I should wait until I message this girl on TikTok, but they're like, oh, okay, yeah, McKay, I got this. TikTok, yes. Okay, first thing you're gonna wanna do, marry a man. Wait 10 to 12 years. It's gonna suck, but just wait 10 to 12 years. Then at your weekly all-girls poker game, kiss your friend Debbie passionately and clumsily on the side of the mouth, wait 10 to 12 more years. It never happened. Then at a family baptism, bonus points if you're the godmother. Make sure you go up to Deb, kiss her full on the mouth, tell her you'd die for her, make a plan to die for her, don't follow through on it, and then live happily ever after in secrecy. Does that help? I'm like, no, not at all, but thank you. I love you guys so very much. Love you. Thank you guys. That was my set. Wonderful being here tonight. I can't wait to be your host. We have an awesome group of comedians, including a stand-up comedy debut. So without further ado, we're going to kick off the show with a very good friend, a very funny comedian. You can catch her comedy at bethfarbercomedy.com. It is Beth Farber from New York City. Just a couple technical difficulties with Beth, but we're going to get her unmuted. There she is, Beth Farber.
Okay. Good evening. When the COVID epidemic hit New York City, my family was very insistent that we all go up to the country where it was safe. But there have been some difficulties that I did not anticipate in the country. There are mice, there's bats, there's my children. Every day I wake up in this farmhouse and I look out and I see the beautiful trees and I hear the birds, and then I see a nice big black bear, sometimes a rattlesnake, and I say to myself, what the fuck am I doing in this goddamn farmhouse? Now, I don't know why I thought the country was safer. I mean, I read in cold blood, 4 members of a family, the entire family brutally murdered. Where? In their farmhouse. I saw The Shining. Where did that happen? In the country. I saw this horribly scary movie, Cabin in the Woods. There's a reason it isn't called Cabin on East 74th Street. I have to get the fuck out of here. But one of the nice things about the pandemic is I've gotten to live with my daughter. And that's really made me feel young again, like a teenager. I mean, one day she let me take the car. I was allowed to go to Walmart to pick up the food delivery. But I didn't get home quite when I said I would. And when I got home, she was waiting on the porch for me and she was really angry. And she said to me, "Where were you?" And I was like, I told you I was going to Walmart. And she was like, "Did you go in the store? I told you to stay in the car." And I really wanted to see some other people. And she said, "Did you wear your mask?" So I tried, but my glasses fogged up. So I was grounded. But it was okay, because my daughter let me watch as much television as I wanted, as long as I didn't disturb her work. And then one day, I was going out for a walk and I put this mask on. And she said to me, "What is that schmata on your face you're wearing? Is that a knockoff N95? Did you try to save money by getting a knockoff?" I said, "Yeah." And she said, "You really are just like your mother." And that just made me feel so young again, because I got to fail as a daughter all over again. Now, I know a lot of you have been on Zoom meetings like me. And even though the whole point of Zoom is that you can see people and people realize that, a lot of people just don't seem to realize we can see them. So people go like this. Or they'll take their fingers and just, go all across the thing, all across the screen. And then they often just let you see their body parts. Like you're just staring right into their various, body parts. And you're like, it's Zoom, we can see. Now, COVID really makes people my age contemplate mortality in a big way. So I used to have a bucket list, but no more. Now I just have a fuck it list. Those are all the things I'm too fucking old to waste my time on anymore. Like watching Dance with the Stars, all 28 seasons. Watching the Titanic sink again. Wondering, did Harry and Meghan make the right decision? And will they be happy in America? Is Jane Fonda telling us the truth when she says she did not have plastic surgery? Asking my soup ladle, do you give me joy? Wondering how Kim Kardashian became as famous as Abraham Lincoln? Trying to figure out if I was imagining it, that Kanye West was running for president? Watching all of Joe Biden's acceptance speech, and finally asking the question, Mike Pence, why the fuck are you still alive? Thank you.
All right, that was Beth Farber. That was awesome, Beth. You bring me joy, even if your soup ladle does not. You bring me joy. Your next comedian is making her stand-up comedy debut. We're so excited to have her. All the way from San Francisco Bay. She's an actor, she's a writer, and she teaches piano to adult learners. Please give it up for the very funny Jane Stone.
Good evening. Jane Stone, single senior, sheltering in my abode, my nest, my lair. My God, I'm tired of being home all the time. So glad you're here. Come in, come in. Hang up your sweatpants and stay a while. You know what it's like to be single and old? Character building. Euphemism for difficult. I've had decades of experience being single and a fair amount of time being older, but I'm okay with that because, you know, 70 is the new 68. Although sometimes I feel like Mel Brooks is 2,000-year-old man, and I'm not even a man. Do you know that women, when they turn 50, they acquire superpowers? You turn 50, you become invisible. This can be an advantage if you're a shoplifter or a cat burglar, but otherwise, no. For one thing, once you turn invisible, it makes it even harder to find the man of your dreams. Well, he can't see you. That hasn't kept me from looking. The fact is, though, I haven't come across any eligible candidates in the past half century. Well, don't remind me of the murderer I met online. Well, he hadn't murdered anybody yet when I made his acquaintance. 6 weeks later, he killed his girlfriend. I got fault. Lucky for me, we had already drifted apart before that. Otherwise, I would have been standing here reading you my obituary. Isn't it disillusioning when people you think you know turn out to be murderers? Living alone is a challenge, by which I mean it sucks. In order to satisfy my need for witty repartee, I've tried talking to my Alexa, but between you and me, she is tear your hair out stupid. So in order to have a little socialization, I used to make a daily pilgrimage to Trader Joe's to talk to whoever was manning the samples counter. Fat, sugar, and small talk. Who could ask for anything more? But now, no Trader Joe's for moi. I haven't figured out why shopping with a bunch of seniors is safe. So what if it's at the crack of dawn? Seniors are breathing. Well, some of them are. I'm really proud of myself because recently I learned to just say no to housework. I don't even care anymore that the dirty dishes and the laundry and the dust are stacked up to the ceiling. I have high ceilings. Well, if I decide that I really need to do something, I offer a generous reward. I say to myself, if you unclog this toilet, you can have an ice cream sandwich before dinner. And since ice cream eliminates any desire to have dinner, I have another ice cream cone, and that's that. It's a win-win. The toilet lives to flush another day, and I don't have to make dinner. You are so sweet to come by. Thank you for being here.
That was awesome. Give it up for Jane Stone. Jane, have 2 ice creams. You definitely deserve it. Excellent stand-up comedy debut. Your next comedian coming to the screen is all the way from Buffalo, New York. He's very funny. Please give it up for Gian Miso.
Everybody. So, my mom is Italian. My dad is Peruvian. So that makes me really confused. I completed the census for the section about our race. I selected confused. I've been struggling with an identity crisis for the past 40 some odd years. I'm not in my 40s. It's just that when you go through an identity crisis, each year gets, like multiplied by some number, like what happens to cats and dogs. So I'm 30 years old, but in identity crisis years, I'm 49 and a half. I've been, these are fucking confusing times, man. And so I'm thriving. 2020 is the most confusing year of our time. Finally, I'm fitting in. I've been masking my sadness for the longest time. Now we're required to wear face masks. Sign me up. I will double down on masking my emotions any day of the week. This year is perfect. Well, I mean, almost perfect. It would be perfect if there was just one more requirement that in order to go outside, we all have to self-medicate. That would be perfect if we're going shopping and we get stopped by a sales clerk who's like, excuse me, it's come to our attention that you are not high out of your fucking mind right now. And that's a requirement to shop here at Walmart. All right, we know you're a regular. We see you getting your blunt wraps here all the time. Just go to customer service and they'll fuck you up. Yeah, man. I'm pissed that I can't speak Spanish. My dad wasn't around to speak Spanish to me as a kid. And, this body is built to speak Spanish. Like, I think it's genetics, but, I'm really good at. So some people who speak Spanish think I speak Spanish. And when I speak Spanish to them, all I could say is, and so my mom gave me this really Italian name, Gian Miso. And the Italians love the name Gian so much that if they don't just name you Gian, they're gonna give you a variation of Gian, like Giancarlo, Gianluca, Gianfranco, Gianni Peppercini. In Italy, the most common name is Gian. So like Gian is Italian for John. So right now, somebody in Italy is probably going, oh, mi amore, I had Mexican for brunch today. I gotta go hit up the Gian. Oh, it's so hot. It was a bad decision on me part to wear long Gians. Oh. I'm in the red light district. I've spotted a Gian running to the port of Gian. I suspect domestic violence. His clothes are ripped off. He's only wearing his long Gians. Over. Dear Gian, I am writing you this dear Gian letter in deport to Gian. I will always be your Yoko Ono. And you will always be my Gian Lennon. Oh, I will pray for you, Gian, to the patron saint of Gians, Saint Gian the Baptiste. Gian is just short name, Gian. Some people who got to read my name off paper are like, oh yeah, this is a short name, I got this. Guyon, oh yeah, this is a short name, I'm gonna kill this. Gina, oh yeah, this is a short name, I'm gonna murder this one. Gain, you know, the common name Gain. Everybody's gone to school with a gain. You know how in 4th grade on the first day, the teacher would be like, oh dear, we've got 3 gains in our class this year. And so I'm okay with that mispronunciation of Gian, but I'm not okay when people mispronunciate Gian as jihad. I don't even know how that could happen. Really. Gian, I do this hand thing so people could get it right. Jihad? That doesn't even go with the hand thing. I am concerned for my life because I feel like people mistaking me for jihad could damage potential relationships. If someone I meet tells their friend, yeah, I met someone named Jihad, their friend or business partner is going to be like, yeah, that's a serious red flag. Now, I don't know. I think part of the problem is I look like a terrorist. I mean, not a terrorist, but a terrorist who's really trying hard not to look like a terrorist. You know, they just shaved off the beard, took some improv acting classes, just joined a farm share that delivers food to fucking food deserts and shit. They just Googled, what do really white people do? You know, shit like that. Thank you very much. I love you all. Good night. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah, Gina! Excellent job, Gian Miso. Thank you so much. Your next comedian coming to the screen is all the way from Burleson, Texas. She has a website, kimwadsworthcomedy.com. You can check out her stuff. And she is a new member of the ACI family. So please put your hands together for the very funny Kim Wadsworth. I'm going to have her unmute herself real quick. And then I'm going to turn it over. Let's hear it for Kim.
Man, as soon as I step up here, I love doing stand-up comedy, but I feel like Moses. It's the way I part the audience. You know, like half of you guys are like, woo wee, she looks like somebody that's fun to party with, and the other half are like, nope. Looks like she's joined a cult or lost a bet. Now, listen, I've been doing crazy stuff to my hair. It was right after the rednecks stole the mullet from the lesbians. It's early 90s. Mullets were popping up in trailer parks all over the place, just like acne on senior class picture day. It's crazy. But I'll have you know, this hair right here is on purpose. It doesn't just do itself. I mean, in fact, my hairstylist has a name for it. It's called Oops. Yeah. And I like to refer to it as my white trash welcome mat. So I think it pairs perfectly with my resting butch face. Yeah. So, word of caution. You should never judge a butch by her cover. And here's the reason. Because listen, I am totally butch enough to wear this hair. But I am not butch enough to wear a pair of sandals without a pedicure. I mean, you've seen these people, right? They got their toes hanging off the front of their sandals, long toenails, scraping along the sidewalk. Click, 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 looking like a gargoyle. Or worse, they got their heels hanging off the back of the sandals, dragging across the sidewalk like they're going somewhere but putting on the brakes at the same time. I mean, you don't really know how crusty those heels are until they slide in the bed with you and scrape that heel all the way down your shin bone. You know, like, whoa, back up, cactus flower. Yeah, listen, I dated this girl once that was going through conversion therapy. Yeah, while we were dating. I mean, talk about a Dear John letter. I'm thinking, why couldn't she just be honest about it? Like, listen here, Kim, this just isn't working out. We are in two totally different places. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, is it just me? Is it me? Like, some people think that lesbians try to convert straight women. But I'm here to tell you right now, I can convert a lesbian back to straight, just like that. And in my opinion, conversion therapy is a lot like math, specifically the metric system. I mean, have you ever tried to convert the metric system? There's always just that little tiny bit left over. I mean, what if we could convert things that we don't like? Like maybe police officers, convert them to doctors, right? Works good on paper, but listen, it just takes one rogue doctor with a scalpel. Hands in the air and drop that kidney. Yeah. It's super hot here. I don't know about the rest of the world, but it's hot here. I mean, it's Texas, and it is brutal. It's brutal. My skin right now feels like bacon sizzling on a hot griddle, which is super disgusting since I'm vegetarian. But it is so hot here that my arm flaps have melted into my back fat. Yeah. And because of the pandemic, listen, I'm not even shaving anymore. So I got sweat dripping right off my back hair. Right back there. And, during this time, this pandemic, I think people are practicing a lot of self-meditation and self-healing, or as I call it, day drinking. And I know I'm practicing hard by just drinking some cooking wine. But, not going anywhere, not being able to go anywhere, not being able to travel sucks. I usually vacay in a nice beach resort, or I take a cruise. This year, I'm spending my entire vacation on the island of Killing These Dishes. Hello. But I'd just like to say, hey, if any of you ladies out there think you're teetering on that edge, curious about becoming a lesbian, just give me a call, 214-555-6969, and I'll get you straightened right back out. I'll straighten you up for sure. Thanks for tuning in, but be sure to call me. Call me.
Kim Wadsworth from Burleson, Texas. That was awesome. Yes, definitely call her if you want to be straight, and call me if you want the opposite. I'll do the opposite. Your next comedian coming to the stage, he's really funny. He's a great friend of mine, and he's all the way from Somerville, Massachusetts right now. Give it up for Isa O'Neill.
This is the first presidential election I'm old enough to vote in, and frankly, I don't know who I can choose. The top two candidates are both so impressive. First, you have Donald Trump. He's got the virus under control. He's drained the swamp. He's brought jobs back to the US. And he's made America great again. Joe Biden is so charismatic. It's amazing how much he gets my generation. The man's a political rock star. I felt he was peering into my soul when he said, "We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by, you know the thing." My generation is really excited by that. I think he's going to bring the country back together. I think he's even going to win the South. In his Super Tuesday victory speech, he confused his wife with his sister. And I think that really resonated with a lot of Southern evangelicals. I was pleased to hear him announce his new campaign slogan on ABC News: "Make America return to the essence of what it is, the dignity of the country, the dignity of people, treating our people with dignity, and this god-awful deliberate division that is being taken in order, separating people." Now, this campaign slogan is obviously terrific, but it does raise one question. How's that going to fit on a hat? I'm taking a serious look at the Legal Marijuana Now party. I support their strong pro-labor stance. I also love that they have the bravery to go out and publicly oppose war, famine, poverty, and all threats to civil liberty. My one hesitancy is I'm strongly opposed to legalizing marijuana. Has anyone bought a globe recently? My family has a globe that still has Yugoslavia on it. Everyone gets a new iPhone, but nobody gets a new globe. I think the manufacturers of globes really need to rethink their advertising campaign. When's the last time you saw a really good globe ad? You don't see globe ads on the Super Bowl. You don't hear people say, the Michelob Ultra ad was funny, but the Rand McNally globe ad was just hilarious. I have a few globe advertising campaign slogans that could put globes on the map. This Valentine's Day, make her dreams come true, buy her a globe. This 4th of July, honor our fallen heroes who gave their lives for liberty, buy a globe. All I want for Christmas is a globe. Tired of spinning that boring old dreidel? This Hanukkah, buy a globe. What's Kwanzaa without a globe? It's Ramadan, time to fast and buy a globe. Don't miss the incredible savings at Macy's President's Day Globe Sale. It just doesn't feel like Easter without a globe. This Columbus Day, you too can discover America. Buy a globe. It's globe time. Nothing says, my condolences, like a globe. Globe, when you said globe, you said it all. He has the whole world in his hand, and now you can too. What's up, globes? Thank you very much. You've been a terrific audience.
Isa O'Neill. Every kiss begins with a globe. I just wanted to add that one. Very, very funny stuff, Isa. Your next comedian coming to the screen all the way from Jackson, New Jersey. She is so funny. Please put your hands together for Emily Paige.
Right before quarantine started, I got really lucky. I was able to sell my house and move in with my parents, and it's been great because I've been able to save a ton of money. And since I'm divorced, they helped me with my daughter. And honestly, the only thing I really have to complain about is the fact that this sucks. I feel like there's been a role reversal. It seems like I'm the parent now, and my parents are the trendy teenagers. They both recently discovered TikTok, so now they're constantly on their phones during dinner, watching videos of talking dogs and whatever else the kids are into these days. The other night, I just couldn't take it anymore. I was like, can you please both put your phones away? All the noise is giving me a headache. Without missing a beat, my dad turns to me and says, "You make my head hurt." I was like, don't use that tone with me, sweetheart. My parents didn't like it when I was on the computer all the time growing up. One day, I went to use the computer and I couldn't because my mom took the keyboard. She took the entire keyboard. I wasn't even mad. I called her up and I was like, I'm impressed, Mom. Well played. Before you become a parent, you think you're above certain things. Spoiler alert, you're not. Before I had my daughter, I never understood why people were complaining they were tired all the time. Then I became a mom and spent many nights wondering how much Tylenol was enough to make her sleep, but not kill her. My daughter was born on my dad's birthday, and he likes to joke that I did it on purpose to get out of buying him a birthday gift. And you know what? He could not be any more correct. Cards are expensive. Sometimes I feel like a bad mom. Like when I went back to work after having my daughter, everyone was coming up to me asking, "Are you okay? You must miss her so much." And I was just like, who? People ask me all the time, "Do you want more kids?" More kids? I don't even know if I want the one I already have. I was talking to my friend Haley the other day, and I was like, 90% of the time, I'm totally fine being single. It's just the other 10% of the time when something important comes up, like when I have to parallel park my car, that's when I miss having a boyfriend. She was like, "Emily, I don't think you want a boyfriend. I think you want an Uber driver." I think I'd get married again someday, but if I did, I would elope because my values are different now. It's not about the wedding reception and the party for me. It's about the dress. I mean, at this point, I don't even think it matters who the guy is. As long as the dress looks like the one on my Pinterest board, I'm good. I just feel like I got gypped with my first marriage. We were only married for about 3 years, so I missed out on so many milestones. Like hosting Thanksgiving, having a joint Netflix account, or sending out that annual Christmas letter. Our 3rd year, we finally did get to send one out. It just said, "Merry Christmas, we got divorced." I've been having trouble finding a therapist. The other day, I called a therapist office and I spoke to the receptionist for a little while. And she told me that this therapist wouldn't want to see me because my anxiety wasn't intense enough. You know what gives people intense anxiety? Telling them you don't want to help them. People say things to me sometimes that I think are compliments, but I'm not always sure. People walk up to me and they'll be like, "Hey, you look like you smoke a lot of weed." Thank you. Or they'll be like, "Hey, you look like you make out with girls." No, but thank you. The one I get the most is, "Hey, you look Jewish." How do you look like a religion? Like, are people walking up to other people and being like, "Oh my God, you look so Methodist"? Thank you, Michaela.
Give it up for Emily Paige. That was awesome. Thank you, Emily. Your next comedian coming to the screen is all the way from Toronto. She has a really cool social distance comedy club. You can follow her on Instagram at @LilyMarlena to check it out. She's so funny. Please give it up for Marlena Kasler.
Hi, everybody. I hope you're all doing awesome. The other day, I was wearing a name tag and I looked in a mirror, and that's when I found out that my name, Marlena, spelled backwards, is anal ram. It's anal ram, Yeah, I'm not even into anal ram, right? Like, why can't my name spelled backwards be something I want, like erotic massage or vibrator on setting 12, or even dude who calls me back? Were my parents aware that my name spelled backwards is anal ram? They were like, "Oh my God, this is perfect. She's already a pain in the ass." Marlena sounds graceful when it's not backwards. I introduce myself and I'm like, "Hello, I'm Marlena." And people are like, "What a beautiful name." So do I tell them? If I tell them, I know that they won't forget my name, because I'm told that you'll never forget an anal ram, even if you try. Men, I don't understand men, I've learned that they text you something nice, and then the next thing you know, the next text is dick pic. So I meet this guy. He texts me, "I hope you have a wonderful day." And I'm like, "How dare you? I know what you're after." And that goes back and forth for a bit. He says, "You know what? I've had it with you. I think you're fucking crazy." And I said, you remind me of my father. Things have been crazy, I've been feeling spiritually lost. I needed some clarity. So I talked to my mom. My mom told me to talk to my best friend. And my best friend, Becky, said, "You should talk to your spirit guide." And my spirit guide said, "You should talk to a psychiatrist because I don't exist." Becky told me that I needed to do some soul searching. So I typed soul into Google, and like every Google search, it said I was going to die. Becky said to me, "Maybe you should raise your vibration." I said I would if I could, but my dildo doesn't go any higher. Becky said, "Maybe you should cleanse your aura." And that was a great idea. So I went to the hardware store and I told them what I needed. And I bought a power washer. The guy said it was good for patio stones and troubled childhoods. The best things are these healing crystals that Becky recommended. They do a lot. What you do is you wind up your arm and you throw them directly at your ex. I could tell it could hurt. Back to you, Michaela.
Awesome. Thank you, Marlena. That was Marlena Kasler from Toronto. Your next comedian coming to the screen is from North Hollywood. You can catch him this Monday, actually, at Flappers Comedy Club if you're in the Los Angeles area. And on October 11th, he's going to be opening the Palm Springs Comedy Festival with a salute to classic comedians of the golden era. He's very funny. Please give it up for Max Ziegfeld.
Hey, everybody. I'm Max Ziegfeld. I'm going to put this on gallery view so I can see you guys. You like the outfit? Yes. This is what you get when Liberace screws the Six Flags guy. Everyone asks why I wore a sequin jacket. Because I got too fat for my sequin dress. I have not had any work for 4 months. I'm so desperate, I'm selling my diary. Sordid tales of an over-the-hill homosexual. I'm calling it 50 Shades of Oy Vey. I've been locked up for so long, and Frank is my spirit animal. Quarantine is like hiding from the Nazis without Netflix. The last time I saw a Nazi was Christmas Eve. For real. I was visiting my friend who's in a nursing home, and it was movie night. I'm expecting Santa Claus, Miracle on 44th Street, Nazis everywhere. I'm like, holy shit. Nothing says Christmas like hiding Jews. She says, shh. It's the sound of music. I forgot. They have nuns and Nazis. It's so disturbing. And the Nazi youth, Rolf. Oh my God. 16 years old, tan, blonde, smooth, very disturbing. I don't know what I would have done after being locked up for 4 months. I'm like, hey, Rolf, I'm in the attic. Oh shit, I lost what happened? Oh, you guys all disappeared. I'm back. So I'm like, hey, Ralph, I'm in the attic. Second door to the left. He is 16, going on 17. What's the age of consent for a Nazi? I figure if he's old enough to bomb Poland, he's old enough for a blowjob. So ever since the George Floyd protests, all these companies are changing their brand names to appear more racially sensitive. Land O'Lakes erased the beautiful indigenous butter maiden from their box. How white privilege is that? They kept the land, they kept the lakes, got rid of the Indians. Next, they're going to put in a casino. But the good news is they're doing kosher butter. They're calling it Land O'Locks. I want to be on the box. I spread faster than warm cream cheese on a hot bagel. And now this Caucasian high school kid who's 15 years old in Seattle started a petition against the ethnic brand names in Trader Joe's. What the hell does he know at 15? 15, most kids are trying to figure themselves out, right? He has got so much self-esteem, he's offended for other people. At 15, I thought I was straight. Things change. So I thought it was ridiculous. I asked my Japanese friends if they're offended. They said they're not offended by Trader Joe's san tofu. You know what's offensive? Sushi from 7-Eleven. And my Latin friends are not offended by Trader Jose's tequila. That's not offensive. You know what's offensive? Trader Joe's chickens are cage-free. Jose's kids are not. That's offensive. And what about us? I'm offended. I'm deeply offended. They don't have any Jewish food at Trader Joe's. What are we, chopped liver? How about Trader Bubby's? You don't write, you don't call chicken soup. Half the sodium, all the guilt. But this one's comforting. Knorr, the German company, is changing the name of their racist Zucchini sauce to Hackenseckenschweizer. Well, that sounds so much better. Much less racist. And this is the last one. They're changing the name of Eskimo pie. The Inuit aren't into it. I'm offended too. I think they should have a name that sounds like what it is. All right. What can I call it? It's white. It's cold. It's got a stick shoved up the bottom. It's a Klondike Karen. You scream, I scream. They all scream for the manager. Oh, and this is good. I started Zoom dating. I started dating this really cute boy on Zoom. We haven't met yet, but he's adorable. He said, I have the body of a god. I was so flattered. Then he told me he was a Buddhist. You know, things were a lot nicer when I was younger. We didn't call racist housewives Karens. We called them cunts. Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy your quarantine.
Max Ziegfeld from North Hollywood. Thank you, Max. That was fun. Your next comedian coming to the screen is from Los Angeles, California, and she's the 17th wonder of Japan. So we're very excited to have her on the show. Please give it up for my friend, Michelle Malasaki.
Yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am deeply offended. Sushi at 7-Eleven? What? I gotta go over there and see it with my eyes, with my own eyes. My gosh. I'm a mom, and it sucks. I didn't know kids are so expensive. Kids are like subscription service that you can't cancel. Sign up is free. Then they get you. 9 months later, the goods arrive, but you have to deliver it yourself. For my first one, it took me 26 hours. And it just gets more and more expensive. You gotta cut corners. I bought my son a onesie pajama when he was 5 years old. And a few months later, it got too small. So I cut off the footies. Now he's 14. He still wears them. It's pretty tight. It's like the tennis shorts from the 70s tight. I was complaining to my son how expensive he's got. And he's like, oh, Mom, just wait till I'm 18. 18? That's when it's gonna get really expensive. Like he's going to college, then he's gonna call me, only when he needs money for pizzas. Then he buys too many pizzas, so he's gonna call me back and say, hey mom, I need money for the weed. So he could eat more pizzas. It's never gonna end. So ladies, if you are in mid-30s and if you hear the biological clock ticking, hit the snooze button. Just a year ago, people used to ask me, why do Japanese people wear masks all the time? Or why do Japanese people bow instead of shaking hands? Hello? And during this pandemic, I hear many people saying, oh, I broke up with my boyfriend, I'm single now. Or, oh, I stopped drinking, I've been sober. No sex, no drugs, no alcohol? That's my whole life. I think we're turning Japanese. I think we're turning Japanese. I really think so. I think you're turning Japanese. Oh my gosh, coronavirus is making you Japanese. Growing up in Japan, I used to have big eyes. Other kids used to bully me, calling me name, like big eyes. They're like, hey, big eyes, what are you staring at? Don't you get bugs in your eyes, big eyes? When I came to America, I have small eyes. I drink and drive. Cops stop me, but they don't even check my eyes. They're like, oh, it's just a waste of time. We're not gonna find her eyes. I used to have big boobs too, you know? I finally figured out my celebrity look-alike. Do you know who I look alike? No, anybody? Guess who? No, it's not Yoko Ono. I'm not that old. Okay, it is John Mulaney. We got the same eyes. I was looking at his comedy specials and I was like, oh my gosh, same eyes. When I go visit Japan, because I've been living in America for so long, people think I am a banana, yellow outside, white inside. But actually, I think of myself as a lemon, yellow outside, yellow inside, sour, but juicy. Well, thank you so much. I'm Michelle Malasaki. Thank you.
Yay, give it up for Michelle Malasaki, all the way from Los Angeles, California. That was awesome. I want to mention before our next comedian, if you love to make people laugh and you've ever wanted to try stand-up, we have our next workshop completely online starting on September 15th. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on social media at ACI Comedy for more information. Okay, I'm really excited about your next comedian. He's really, really funny and all the way from Santa Monica, California. Please give it up for Tom Susco.
Thank you, Michaela. I am thrilled to be with you all over the United States. You all know, wherever you are, that our medical system is so broken, it's difficult even for doctors to imagine something that would work. It would take Walt Disney to imagine that. At Disney World, in addition to Frontierland and Tomorrowland, they should have Hospital Land, where you get to the front of a very short line and a cast member asks, do you have insurance? No. Well then, come right in. And after you have a simple surgery like a bunion surgery, afterwards, the staff says, you know, you look a little tired. Why don't you stay here a month or two? And don't forget, you can press Goofy's nose for Disney room service. After I'm discharged, if I have any pain, what should I do? Well, that's not a problem. Just visit Morphine Land. How cool would that be? You know, the news is getting kooky. I told my wife that a grandmother fingered her grandson for throwing a bomb at the Portland courthouse. And my wife said, that's disgusting. Sweetie, she turned him in to the police. The three dumbest words in the English language are you awake? Brain testing is a hot topic, with Trump and Biden barreling towards 80 like a freight train. Here's the test I would give both of them. What is the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo? Question number 2. Who was the 4th Vice President of the United States? Question number 3. How many hookers has our current president paid off? So Trump and Biden are at one end of the spectrum for brain power, and at the other end, we have Albert Einstein. I read his biography and it's incredible. Einstein discovered way back then, time is relative, and we can measure that now. When you raise up your arm, time speeds up. And when you lower it, time slows down. And this concept makes total sense to me because when you walk in the White House, your IQ goes down. You know, I really miss going out. I miss hearing people say, look, it's the Lexus salesman. Or, hey, it's Bill Nye the Science Guy. Or, oh my gosh, I thought Mr. Rogers was dead. Yeah, I really miss those days. February seems so far away. And you know, I feel really sad. I feel really sad when I think about Kourtney Kardashian. First of all, she spells Courtney with a K, and that's just tragic. And the holiday season is going to be here before we know it, and that must be so hard for her. Can you imagine? She's the poorest Kardashian, and having to Christmas shop as a Kardashian for other Kardashians when your net worth is only 35 million? Awful. As a comedian, I aspire to make people laugh so hard that they're at risk for having a cardiac arrest. I want my audience to be so at risk for laughing themselves to death that I actually have to carry comedy insurance. Nothing? Tomorrow I'm calling my agent to purchase comedy malpractice insurance. You know, I'm looking myself here on Zoom at my gray hair, and I actually tried coloring it brown, and my hair looked like rusty wires. It looked like I was trying to be hip and young like a dentist from the disco era who wears gold chains and cheats on his wife. Do a little dance, make a little love. Yeah, I'm a jerk. So now my hair is gray again. I would like to end by thanking Albert Einstein and his crazy COVID hair, proving we can be in two places at once like right now. Thank you so much for joining us. Back to you, Michaela.
Thank you, Tom Susco from Santa Monica, California. That was really funny. And February does seem forever away, but if we've learned anything, time is relative. So keep pushing forward. Let's go on with the show. I'm really excited about your next comedian. She is from Washington, D.C. and a really lovely woman, very good friend. Please give it up for Elena Kulick.
Good evening. I grew up in Russia. In school, they would make fun of me because my poor looking shoes. The only kind we can afford. Now when I'm in America, I have a big shoe collection. Thank you, America. Specifically, pay less. I was so excited to come here. So when I got my visa, I went to celebrate the most famous American restaurant in Moscow, McDonald's. I really splurged. I looked at the man and I said, "Can I please have an extra pickle on my burger?" And he said, "No." Then I went to American embassy in Moscow to try to get my visa. The agent asked me if I was a ballerina. And I said, "How did you know?" And I guess I just did that in case he's watching. So I met this American man, and he flew all the way to Moscow to meet me. And the first thing he told me in Russian was, "You started a fire in my heart." And I said to him, "Is that the only Russian you know? Let me teach you something that you can really use while you're here with me. My dress size is 2. He went to meet my parents to get the approval, and my dad hugged him. My dad is a very warm person. He hugs everybody. He is the Russian Joe Biden. A Russian bear hug. You maybe heard this expression, we are lovers and huggers. We believe that everything could be settled peacefully with the warm hug. And if there is still a problem, then with radioactive polonium. The way my dad proposed to my mom was to say to her, "I want to unlock your deepest secrets of love." And exactly 9 months later, I was born. I guess my mother's look had an easy combination. She wanted me to be a boy. She even had a name picked out, Boris. Instead, I showed up. She blamed my dad and called him a wimp for his inability to produce Boris. I say my dad was a brave man for getting that close to my mother. So, Russians announced that they are already developed COVID vaccine, and it's will be available in about a month, and they're offering it for sale, and it's a good deal. For $75, you get a vaccine and a photo of Donald Trump getting golden shower in Moscow. So this pandemic, it's really changing people. My dentist recently told me about his dreams to open a dental practice on the beach. He said, imagine Malibu sunshine, ocean breeze, pina colada to numb you up instead of Novocaine. Would you like to make an appointment? And they said, make an appointment. I want to marry you. So after the show, friend me on the Facebook so I can tell you who to vote for. Thank you very much. I love you.
Elena Kulick from Washington, D.C. Thank you, Elena. Your next comedian coming to the screen is all the way from Long Island, New York, and he's the author of the children's book, The iDroids. He's very funny. Please put your hands together for James Chipolina.
Wow, thank you, Michaela. So it's great to be here. A lot of comics start out by saying that I used to be fat. Well, I'm going to start out by saying that I used to not be fat. I became fat, and I wasn't very good at it. A lot of fat people are fat their whole lives. I was newly fat. I had a hard time doing things, like tying my shoes. I was stretching and getting out of breath. It used to take me 45 minutes at the gym to get that way. Now, first thing in the morning, come downstairs, put on my shoes, boom, aerobics, done. Taking a shower was hard. I was stretching and trying to reach certain places. I was sweating. Hey, there's my yoga. I became Peter Griffin. I did diet and exercise, and I lost the weight, and I returned to myself. So if you're looking for a vacation from yourself, I would highly recommend you get fat. So I live here out on Long Island, and if it slightly rains, we lose power. I mean, I find myself calling PS&G all the time. And I say, it's because of you, my whole freezer of meat went bad. And it's because of you, my ice cream cake melted. You know, it made me feel a little bit better. Now I even call when I have power. I say, it's because of you that I'm afraid of dogs. And it's because of you that when I meet new people, I suffer from social anxiety. You know, during the last storm, I called them up and they said, hey, listen, when you didn't have any power, we're not going to charge you. I said, it's okay, you could charge me. I'm saving a fortune on therapy. So I am recently married, and my wife has brought all these new and interesting things into my life, like this crazy idea of me eating healthy. Have you guys heard of this? I mean, she goes to these new age, organic, vegan stores and finds all this healthy stuff for me to eat. Her new thing is finding healthy ice cream for me to watch me eat. Just the other day, she had the pleasure of watching me eat purple yam ice cream. Oh, and she can't wait for me to try yummy avocado. And just the other night, she couldn't even fall asleep. She was so excited for me to try creamy asparagus. Yeah. You know, I'm married, and I finally know why men wear wedding bands. It is literally to remind the guy that he is still married. You know, I love my wife, but now I have to think in terms of us. Like, I can't just go out with my friends. I have to get permission. And it reminds me of when I was a kid and I needed permission for everything. Like, Mom, can I go to the museum with my class? And Mom, can I go to the park with Billy and John? So I found an easy way. I just print up a whole bunch of permission slips and I give one to her. It's like a page and a half. I say, hey, there's an overview of everything, whom I'll be with, what time I'm going out, and what time I'll be home. I give her one to sign and she grabs it and says, just go out. See, it worked. So there have been a lot of superhero movies lately. But what about some of the less popular superheroes? You know, we all know Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man. But what about, you know, Daredevil, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and The Thing? What are these guys up to? It's like, yeah, okay, Superman, go save the world. We'll just hang here. Oh, don't worry, we'll feed the fish. So I've had dogs, and I would truly say that dog is man's best friend. But I do think we're going a little bit overboard. I mean, think about it. They have doggy daycare, doggy spas, and doggy therapists. I don't even have these things. The real kicker is now they have their own network. Dog TV, made utterly and completely entirely for dogs. Hey, I'm getting pretty close to just throwing my dog my car keys and sending him to work. Who's gonna pay for the dog TV? And all those milk bones. I should have got a fish. Thank you guys, you were awesome.
James Chipolina, that was fantastic. Thank you, James. Your next comedian coming to the screen is performing from Middletown, New York. He's very funny. This is his third time with us here at ACI. Please give it up for Bruce Gluckman.
I am a homeowner. Actually, the home owns me. The bank and the wife are the co-conspirators. I mean, the co-signers. Now, homeowners are supposed to like doing things around the house, but not me, because I know I will fuck it up. I am lazy. I am Jewish. We never fix things. My wife and I have been married for 36 wonderful years. She's from Kansas City, and that Midwestern niceness is so ingrained that if she wants to get me to do anything, she has to become passive aggressive. I mean, the other day she asked me, "Do you want to mow the lawn?" But you know, the other day she was driving a car and a guy cut her off, and all of a sudden she burst out yelling, "You goddamn motherfucker, what do you think you're doing?" Well, that was just a little unsettling. It's like seeing Mr. Rogers swear. Was it shocking? Actually, it was orgasmic. I said, "Wow, honey, that was great. Can you do it again?" Now, I'm 67 years old, and last year I was going through a midlife crisis. I mean, and to deal with it, I started reading a lot of self-help books like The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, Unfuck Yourself, Everything is Fucked, a book about hope, and then Calm the Fuck Down. And I was so inspired by all of this that I started writing my own book. Oh, go fuck yourself. Now, I recently went into the doctor and he said it's time. Time for what? Time for a digital exam. So when he put a, with 3 fingers on my ass and he said, "Oh, uh-oh, what? Something doesn't feel right. Damn straight something doesn't feel right." So I had the biopsy, which is the fisting version of the digital exam, and the result came back. I had prostate cancer. And people have helpful advice when they find out that you have cancer. Like, "Oh, prostate cancer. If you have to have cancer, that's the best kind of cancer you gotta have." I was just so excited about that. And the doctor told me that radiation was an option, but they told me that the side effects included crying uncontrollably for an hour at any time and for no reason at all. And then there's hot flashes. I've been through that with my wife. And then what's next? An uncontrollable urge to binge watch Lifetime movies and say yes to the dress? I said, no way, no way. So surgery it was. Now, go to the hospital, you go to a waiting room, and you sit around the room waiting for your number to be called. And I noticed that there's a lot of guys out there who kind of look like me. It was like being at Zabar's with no locks. Now, the operating room looked vaguely familiar to me. Where did I see that before? And then I realized it was the death chamber from the movie Dead Man Walking. Now, I woke up 5 hours later, -1 prostate, wearing a white diaper. I looked like a 67-year-old New Year's Eve baby. Now, I've noticed that there are no primetime TV ads for men's Depends. The big selling point for and the ads and commercials for women's Depends is showing them being active, playing tennis, working out, going for a run. But for guys, that is not the selling point. The selling point is the package. You know, he says, you see right here, right front and center. Now look at that pride in this guy. If that guy looks like that, why not me? Why not any guy out there? And it kind of sort of reminds me when I stuffed socks down my pants when I was 13 years old. Well, this was really orgasmic. And we have to do it again. So thank you and have a great night.
Thank you, Bruce Gluckman. That was awesome. We have one final comedian for you tonight, our headliner. She is from New Jersey. She's very, very funny, a wonderful comedian and a great friend. But tonight she's performing all the way from Maine. Please give it up for Ina Swinton.
I was born in Russia, moved to America when I was 9. I don't have an accent. Fortunately, New Jersey destroys everything. I'm a mom. My main job is taking care of our 3 children. It's a big job. I want to spend all my time with them. So I don't cook, clean, or do laundry. My mother loves the British royal family. She watched the entire wedding of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry on TV, and she cried. I said, "Why are you crying?" "Because you will never be a duchess. Meghan prepared a dinner of roast chicken for Harry to get him to propose. When was the last time you roasted a chicken?" I wanted to roast a chicken for my husband for our anniversary, but he said, "Honey, I know cooking's not your thing. Why don't you just seduce me?" I wish he'd just let me roast the chicken. My mother-in-law got remarried. Her new husband is 85. My mother said, "These Wasp women, crazy for remarriage. Your father goes, for $1 million, I would not take care of a second old man. For $2 million, maybe." I miss school, but I don't miss the mean moms. I was kicked off the Friday pizza lunch committee because I was late 2 times. I said I slept through my alarm. They said, "You just woke up, it's 2:30 in the afternoon." Something about the kids didn't eat, hungry children. I said, "Whatever. As far as the kids go, it is never too early to start intermittent fasting." My 10-year-old daughter asked me if stripping was a legitimate way to earn money for women. I said, "How about a lemonade stand? Less time at the gym." My son, I heard the other day screaming, "The purge is next. Get in the bunker, get in the bunker." I said, "Maxime, are you playing 60-Second Apocalypse again?" He said, "No, Mom, I'm watching the news." There is so much bad news everywhere these days. I saw a picture of Gwyneth Paltrow without makeup, and she looked good. I saw the family computer search history. It said, "Is 8 hours a day too much time for a boy to spend on Minecraft? Is Adult Friend Finder a legitimate place for a person to find friends as an adult? Is the apocalypse a metaphor or a real thing in the world?" I think we're just a typical family losing our minds during the pandemic. Okay, all those searches were me. When my husband goes food shopping, I text him things that we need that aren't on the list, and he never buys them. I said, "Honey, don't you ever read my texts?" He said, "Read all your texts? My phone doesn't hold that much data." Spending this time in lockdown with my parents, my kids, my husband, it's been a real nightmare, a real joy. We have so many therapists helping our family these days. Actually, my therapist, Cindy, helped me find a therapist for our dog, our Chihuahua, who has anxiety. I was glad Cindy was useful for something. I was paying her for years, and I'm still feeling nauseous when I try to do the laundry. The last time I did laundry was in college, and all my whites turned pink. That's how I met my first boyfriend, Larry. He said he'd do my laundry for me. I actually Googled it when our nanny left because I had to do the laundry, and there were so many YouTube videos I watched, it was exhausted. I asked my mom if she had any tips, and she said, "Tips? I wrote you a whole book with a bonus chapter, how to finally roast a chicken." One of our therapists said, "Listen, you have too many therapists and you should get rid of one." I said, "You know, that's a good idea. Which one are you?" Anyway, I know the one that I would get rid of, the one who said that I wasn't funny. I said, "I am funny. I'm a comedian." She said, "Well, I don't experience you as particularly funny in our sessions." I said, "Do you know how hard it is to have a solid 40 minutes? That's a whole Netflix special." Anyway, she said, "I don't think our sessions are a good place to try out your jokes." I said, "For the money I pay you, I should get written feedback." Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great night. And thanks for coming to our show.
Yay. Swinton, and please, I need a copy of that book from your mom. I'm clueless. Help me. Okay, that was Ina Swinton. You can follow her and her family on Instagram and TikTok at Ina Swinton. And that was our show. Thank you so much for watching. We so appreciate it. Again, if you love to make people laugh and you've ever wanted to try and do stand-up comedy, you can do it with us. We have workshops online, so no matter where in the world you are, you can be performing with us and learning stand-up and writing your own stuff and having a wonderful time. Thank you all so much. Thank you especially to all the comedians in the show tonight. Have a very safe and fun weekend. Thank you.